Well, hello, and how are we all doing? I'm Cassandra B, and this is Contemplations with me. So I was sitting here, I've been thinking, I spent Saturday with an amazing group of women, and there was 15 of us all together, and just, what that looked like when each woman was supporting another, and each one was, looking at how to, be authentic and vulnerable and all those things. And then it got me thinking to my own daughters and what that looks like. And so I just really, you are already the power, you already carry the power within you. And that's the part I think that we're all coming back to. This is the energy that we're all sifting with. So I kind of wrote this little piece. That's why I'm a few minutes late. I've been kind of sitting with this all day with pictures coming up and conversations happening. So I would just like you to take a nice deep breath and for a moment, just stop looking outside of yourself for answers. Stop looking for the person who is going to finally let you know you are enough. Stop waiting for permission to take up space. Stop waiting for the right relationship, the right body, the right amount of money, the right title, the right age, the right circumstance, the right version of yourself. Because before you decide that you are worthy of loving yourself, because here is the deeper truth of this. Everything you need to begin is already within you. Not everything you will learn, not everything you will ever experience, and not every answer to every question. But the part of you that knows how to take the next step, that person is already there. The part of you that knows when something is true, that is already there. The part of you that has survived things that once would break you, he or she is already there. The part of you that still knows how to love after disappointment, still knows how to hope after loss, still gets back up after life knocks you down, yeah, he or she is already there. And perhaps awakening in the inner power isn't about becoming more powerful. Perhaps it's about remembering the power you handed away, the power you gave to someone else's opinion, the power you gave to your past, the power you gave to the number on the scale, the power you gave to your children, your partner, your parents, your community, the power you gave to the woman you thought you were supposed to be, or the man you thought you were meant to be. Maybe awakening is simply the moment you turn around and say, oh, there I am. And we begin coming home to ourselves. So the only person who gets to define you, right? The only person that gets to define you. People always have opinions about you. They will create stories about you. They will remember an old version of you. They may even try to convince you that you are, that the person you are becoming is somehow too much, too loud, too independent, too ambitious, too spiritual, too emotional, too powerful, too much. And here's your reminder. Their inability to understand you does not make you wrong. You do not have to shrink to so someone else can feel comfortable. You don't have to dim your light so someone else doesn't have to look at their own. And you don't have to apologize for becoming fully alive. Take up space. I wish for every being to take up space and let their light just illuminate for themselves and every being around them. Take up space, not because you need to prove that you matter, but because you actually do. You already do. You really do. So walk into the room like you belong there, because you do. Walk into the conversation knowing your voice has value, because it does. Walk into the next chapter knowing you don't have to have it all figured out. Trust me, you don't. You just need enough courage to take that next honest step. And maybe that's where self-love becomes something different. Self-love isn't always candles and beautiful affirmations. Matter of fact, it quite honestly is not that at all. Sometimes, and most times, self-love is saying no. It's a complete sentence, by the way. No, complete sentence. No, that's it. No. Sometimes it's leaving. Sometimes it's staying. And sometimes it's telling the truth. I would actually say it's always about telling the truth. Sometimes it's resting, and sometimes it's actually beginning again and again. And sometimes again. And sometimes it's looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I don't know exactly where we're going yet, but I'm not abandoning you anymore. I'm not diminishing, removing your own being. I am going to listen to the person in the mirror for what they truly want, what they're actually moving towards, what actually fuels that person in the mirror up. Yeah, that's the way I'm going. So I don't know exactly where I'm going yet, but I'm no longer abandoning myself for anyone else. That is self-love. And I really want you to you to contemplate that. What would you change if you stopped abandoning yourself? What would happen if you stopped asking, who do you want me to be? Yeah, let's stop that shit. Who am I when I completely am honest with myself, when I am vulnerable with that, when I sit with just me and my thoughts and what I want and my desires and my sadness and my loss and all of those beautiful, amazing, wonderful, emotional pieces of yourself? Sit with yourself today and just be completely honest with yourself about who you are, where you are, and what you want for self. It's a beautiful thing and maybe a little scary. Get those other people's thoughts, ideas, wording, patterns, their voice goes away so that you can come into alignment with self today. Sit with that, because the honest answers are not somewhere out there waiting for you. They are beneath the noise, beneath the expectations, beneath the fear. And remember, fear is just false evidence appearing real. It's not real. It's only real if you give it energy. Otherwise, it's just things that have been said and done to keep you safe at one point does not mean it is good and safe and keeps you good and safe now. Remember, a lot of those fears are old patterns and old ideas and old aspects of who you were, or they were never aspects of you to begin with, and you allowed those energies to dictate where you are and where you've been. So beneath that version of yourself you created just to survive, there is a person underneath all of that. And that person is waiting for you. They don't need you to become someone else. They don't need you to fix yourself. They don't need, doesn't need to earn your worth. You simply just need to listen and to, so today, take a nice deep breath. Just stay here right now and take a nice deep breath. So today, keep your heart open. It just allow your being to be. Let love lead you with that big open heart space. Allow it to lead you into where you are going. But don't confuse love with an abandon yourself for someone else either, right? Like, love is not outside of you. Love is still inside of you. So real love allows you to stand in your truth. Real love doesn't ask you to disappear. And perhaps the greatest act of love you can offer yourself today is this: believe in yourself. Believe in your intuition. Believe in your experience. Believe in the wisdom you have gathered. Believe the women who have walked through the fire and kept going. Believe that you are allowed to change your mind. Believe that you are allowed to want more. Believe that you are allowed to begin again. Believe that you are allowed to become. And most importantly, believe that you don't have to wait until you become that person to love that person again within you. Love that person now. Love the man or woman who is still figuring out. Love the man or woman who sometimes gets scared. Love the man or woman who makes mistakes. Love the man or woman who doesn't know the answers. Love the man or woman who is tired, who is healing, who is becoming, because that person is you, and you are so deeply worthy of your own love. So take a deep breath. Put your hand over heart and ask yourself quietly, what do I already know? What have I been afraid to trust? And where Am I already ready to take up more space? And then ask yourself one final question. What is the next best step into me? You don't have to have the whole road. You don't even need to know, you don't need everyone to even understand. You don't need permission. You don't need any of those things. You simply need to have the courage to take that next step. And when you knew this is that, take it in knowing this. You belong here. You always have. Your power isn't waiting for you somewhere outside of yourself. You're remembering how to come home to it. And I'm going to remind you this many times over the next little while. You are loved. You are worthy. You are enough. You are becoming. And everything you need for your next best step is already within you. So go ahead and take that next step into your life, into your truth, and into yourself. And I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will see you again tomorrow with Contemplations with me, Cassandra B. Bye.